Caroline, and I'm back today with what I hope will be a very quick smashing of this paper pad. I don't need more paper, and I don't know what's wrong with me, but I bought more paper. Well, I happened to be at Michael's, and it happened to be on sale, and I happened to have some, of the little, whatever, the rewards dollars or whatever. So basically it was free. That's my justification. Anyway, I picked up this paper pad, and I was thinking that it would be really nice if I just smash the whole thing. Like, we're going to start to finish, get rid of the whole thing, and show you how that you can use every bit of it. And I'm going to do so by making some gifts. So this tutorial here that I did, maybe a month or so ago, I can't remember. It was one of the 13 Frights contributions, and it was for a tag album. And it was super simple. I just used these two dies here from the Heartfelt Creations album tags and accent set that I purchased from Country Craft Creations. And in that tutorial, I was able to smash a 6x6 pad and make two of those little tag albums. They're basically like a brag book, as well as a smattering of cards. And so I was thinking that, and there were 24 sheets in that 6x6. So I'm thinking that I should be able to make 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm going to kind of back it down. I'm going to tame my expectations here, and I'm going to just try to make 6, because a couple of the sheets in here are not ones that I would want to do for making an album. There's this full sheet here. And so I'm going to make like a gift bag out of this, and use the rest of the pieces, the rest of the papers in here to make our little albums. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Look, I know you've got these in your stash, or maybe it's just me, but I have too many of these, and I did not need to buy another one, but I did. But just kind of show you how you can put together some quick gifts for, it's Christmas time, it's gift giving time. I think anyone would love to get a little brag book, for Christmas, grandmas, aunts, uncles, somebody, keep in their car, in their purse, in their backpack, something like that, and show to their friends all the pictures of kids, grandkids, puppies, dogs, whatever it is that you've got, kittens, and just have that little brag book, right? So let's go ahead and get started on this, and yeah, let's see how fast, let's see what we can do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the paper out of the paper pad. Now that I've got all the papers out of here, I'm going to set some of them off to the side, because these full sheets here, I'm going to use those to make a gift bag, maybe 2 gift bags. I'm not sure. I think that those would be great for that. So I want to put those to the side, and I don't know, I might end up using these too. And actually, as I'm looking at this, when I started pulling them out, I realized that there are all these great cut aparts that are oriented in this way, which is how I was going to do my little tag albums anyway. And I think they're going to be great. And as I'm looking at them, I'm thinking, instead of cutting out all of the dies like that to sort of make them fit for the tag album, which some of them I could, I'm just thinking it's going to be faster if I don't use the dies. So yeah, if you guys want to see how I did it with the dies, you can watch that other video. I will have that linked in the description notes below. But I think I'm kind of evolving my thought here, and let's do them as just rectangles. It's going to be a lot easier to cut them, and let's see where we go from there. So on these, I think these are going to be great covers. I'm going to go ahead and cut these into 4x6 sheets like that. And then on these other pieces here, I'm going to cut them down to 4x6 also, and we'll use those to mat the pages of our books. And so let me go ahead and start cutting these down.
Like a dark blue, would that work?
Probably not. It's for this. I feel like maybe I could do cream. Let's try it. Let's see. How would this look?
Not really. I mean, it could work.
What about white? Would white work?
Maybe. We can try it.
It's better than the cream. Should we do the white?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with white.
Because we can't find anything else.
because I can't find the black unless maybe it's in there. All right, I cut up 20 sheets of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, the 110-pound cardstock, and I got 6 sets of 10 each of 4 by 6 pieces here. And then I also got 6 sets of 5 each of these 1 inch wide by 4 inch long strips that are going to be our hinges. And then this is all the scraps that I have left. I've got like these little tiny slivers, and then I've got these others that are like a 1 inch wide strips. I'm going to toss these. I have learned recently that my mental health is worth more than saving scraps, so I'm going to toss them. But I am going to keep these little pieces here. They are 2.5 inches wide by 4 inches tall, and I've got 12 of them, and I figured that since I'm making 6 sets, like little gift sets, I'll use them to put like 2 tags each in them. I think they're going to be a nice size. We'll just cut the corners on here, make some little tags out of them, and we will end up using those. So now we're going to move on to the construction of our little brag books here. Now for all of our hinges, we are going to score them in half lengthwise. So you're going to place these little pieces in your scoreboard on the 1 inch side, and we're just going to score them at 1/2 inch, and we're going to do that for all of them. There are 30 in total, and we're going to fold and burnish all of our score marks and then set these aside. For our brag books, we have 10 pieces that measure 4 by 6, and we're going to take 4 of those pieces and we are going to glue them together in sets of 2. So we're just going to make them twice as thick as they normally are, and that's going to serve as our front and back cover. So on these, 4 pieces here, we're just going to glue them together in sets of 2. And I'll be right back. So I just realized that I miscalculated. I went through and I didn't need 10 pieces for each booklet or each brag book. I needed 8 pieces of 4 by 6 cardstock for each brag book. So instead of 20 sheets of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, you're actually only going to need 16. So I have a lot of extra pieces left over, and that's fine. I went ahead and glued up the front and back covers, and all I did was I took 2 pieces and glued them together, and I placed them underneath my mat while I continued to glue them all up just to keep them nice and flat. So these pieces are doubled up thickness. They're nice and thick, and they're going to serve as our front and back cover. And these pieces are just the single thickness of the 110-pound cardstock, and they are going to be our pages. So for each one of our brag books, we're going to need 2 covers, 4 pages, and 5 hinges, which are the 1 inch by 4 inch pieces that we scored in half on the 1 inch side to make a hinge. So I'm going to show you how we're going to put those together here. The first thing you're going to do is you are going to take 4 pieces that are your pages, and we're going to take all 5 of our hinges that go with each one of our brag books, and we're going to place glue on one of the 1/2 inch sides on each hinge, and then we're going to center it on the left hand side of our pages. So for 4 of the hinges, you're going to place it centered, so like 1 inch from the top and 1 inch from the bottom on the left hand side of a page. So that's what we're going to do with 4 hinges and all 4 of the pages. Once I've glued hinges on the left-hand side of all 4 of my pages, I'm going to take my remaining hinge and glue it on the left-hand side of my, what is going to be my back cover, but just, one of the cover pieces, one of the ones that's doubled up, right? And we're going to glue it down in the same way we did for the pages. And now we just need to assemble our little brag book here. And so how we're going to do that is I'm going to start at the back cover piece, and I'm going to put glue on the other side of the hinge, the other 1/2 inch piece here. Take one of my pages and then just stack it right up on top of that hinge that we just put glue on. And I'm making sure that I'm flush all the way around that, oops, I just bumped it. And I'm making sure that I'm flush all the way around so that it's, perfectly lined up. And once I get it where I want it to be, I'm going to burnish it really well. Then put glue on the next hinge of the page that we just attached onto the back cover. We're going to put glue on this hinge here on this page. Take the next page and do the same thing. We're just going to stack it up. I'm, using my hands to make sure that I'm straight all the way around, that I've it's centered on top of the pieces below it. Go ahead and burnish that down. And we're just going to continue to do that until we have all of the pages placed on. Placing glue on the other side of the hinge, pairing it up with one of the pages that we've already put a hinge on. I'm just making sure it's straight all the way around, pressing it down, smooth out any glue that might seep out. Glue on this one. Get this last page on here, or I guess it's actually the first page. Burnish it. And now I'm going to put some glue on this first page hinge here, this piece that's left out here. And then we're going to take our cover piece, which is the remaining piece that's the double thickness, and place it on here. Again, making sure that I'm even all the way around, that we're lined up well. Burnish it. And I'm just going to put a couple clamps on here because that's a lot of layers with a lot of glue. I just want to make sure that it's going to dry nice and straight on our little spine there. I'm going to set that one aside, get 2 more cover pieces, get 4 more pages, and add my hinges, and just continue to repeat the process until I've got all 6 of them done. Now that I have all of my little brag books glued up and they're ready to go, I've got my front and back covers attached to them, and I'm going to go ahead and take my clamps off. They've been sitting there for a little bit. I've gone ahead, and I forgot to turn the camera on, so sorry for that. But I've gone ahead and started cutting my pattern papers as well as the cut aparts for the front covers. So here are all of my brag books. They're ready to go. I'm cutting my pattern papers to 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. So I'm 1/8 of an inch smaller than the size of my pages and the size of my covers. And I've cut up all of my cut aparts too. I've got one full set for the brag books, and I've got another set that we're going to use for some little journals, little junk journals that I want to make too. So there's going to be kind of like a little matching set here. So I'm going to go through, finish cutting my pattern paper, and then I'm going to round the corners because we rounded the corners on our little books. And I think I might even put a piece of gold paper as a matting, at least on the front and back cover, or at least ink the edges with some gold ink. I'm not sure. So I'm going to run through all that, and I will be right back. So I've prepared all of my pattern papers for our albums. I have all of our little cut aparts for our covers. I think they're going to be really cute. And I went ahead and I've decided not to ink the edges. It's just going to, look, y'all, that's going to take way too much time. I don't want to do that. I want to knock this project out. I want to smash this stash, right? I want this whole paper pad to be used up and feel accomplished. So I'm not going to take my time inking all of my edges. Instead, what I decided to do was go ahead and just on the front and back covers, I've cut a small little outline piece of this gold shimmer cardstock. So that's going to give me kind of a gold banding around the edge, and I think it's going to look really nice. Now, I've been debating, do I want to have a tie closure on here? And I kind of think I do. I mostly, I just like ribbon. You guys know I like ribbon. So I am going to go ahead and put some ribbons on here for a tie closure. I don't think it's necessary. So if you want to make some and you're in a big hurry and you just got to knock out some gifts, first of all, I think this is a great option because this is going super fast. But also I do think that it's just not necessary to put the ribbon on. I just, you know, more is more bling, more bling. That's what I'm trying to do. So let me grab some ribbon. I think the red's going to look really nice with all these colors that we've got going on. So I am going to cut, let's see, there's 6 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and cut 12-inch length pieces of ribbon, and that's going to be for our tie closures. And then once I've got my ribbons cut, all I'm going to do is just center them. Like, you know, you guys have seen me do this like a million times. I'm going to do it one more time here. I'm going to take a piece of double-sided tape and I'm going to place it down here on the edge, kind of close to where the center is going to be. Peel off the backing, take my ribbon, and I'm going to place it kind of in the center mark here, and I'm really trying to make sure that it's straight this way. So I've got this on my mat in such a way that it's squared off with the lines. So when I place it on here and I know this is coming straight, I know that it's going to be at a 90-degree angle there to the book, and that's what I want it to do. So then I'm going to cover it with another piece of double-sided tape, turn it over, and this time I'm not measuring. This time I'm only lining it up with the one below, because even if I was off by a little bit, I don't want it to be any more center on this one. I just want it to line up with its counterpart so that it looks like they're, you know, both centered. I don't know what I'm saying. So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing that, and I'll be right back. So now that we've got our tie closures on all of our little brag books, the only thing left to do is put our papers down, and then we're done. Isn't this awesome? It's so fast. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this, and I'll be right back. Well, I finished my first one. I'm going to go through and do the other 5, but so far, so good. I think it turned out super cute. There are sort of coordinating patterns with each one of the cut aparts, so I was able to put that on the back page here and then lay out all of the papers how I wanted to inside. And I just think it turned out really, really cute. And this is going by so quickly, you guys. I'm just sitting here watching TV putting glue on my paper and sticking it down. This has been the easiest project so far. All right, y'all, I don't know what happened, but I made a mistake somewhere along the line, and the portion of this video where I filmed the making of all of the junk journals, I can't find it. I don't know where it is. But I wanted to hop in here and let you know that I made them in the exact same way as the ones that I made in the tutorial for the White Christmas collection here. And I will have that tutorial linked in the description notes below as well. All right, now I have finished all my booklets. Don't they look so cute? I've got them stitched together. I love these little beads here dangling off. I just think they're a lot of fun. And on the inside, we just have, you know, a few pages that are blank. We have a few pages that are ruled. We've got our little decorative page in here just for some excitement, right? Some more ruled pages, some more blank pages, and then it just repeats. And I think they turned out really cute. So I've got one for each of the brag books, and I love them, right? Aren't they cute? And so now what I need to do is go through and put some book plates on the front of them, and I'm going to use the same images from the cut aparts that we use for the brag book. So they really are just going to be a matching element there. So let's go ahead and get those together. So we've got all of our, and look at them. Don't they look good just even lined up next to each other? I think they're so cute. I'm feeling the same way about the brag books, the way they work. I've got something that's going to be coming in the next few months that I don't think I can talk about it yet, but there's going to be something that I want to be making some little books out of. And I think that these are going to be perfect for that. Aren't these just they're just so cute. I just love them. So we've got our journals or notebooks or, you know, whatever you want to call them here. And I'm just going to trim these down, round the corners, layer them up with a piece of this gold paper on the background. And that's going to be the front covers for them. I'm going to kind of go through these and I'll be right back and show you how it turns out. Got all of our little notebooks and I think they look super cute, or journals or whatever you want to call them. I just love them. I think they look really great. And then they all, you know, have their corresponding little brag book with them as well. And I think they're just adorable, right? They're like a board book. They're like, you know, like the children's board books. Oh my gosh, I just really like them. So now what I want to do is I'm taking another assessment of all the papers I have left, right? This whole purpose is to smash this entire paper pad in one sitting, right? Like I don't want to, no scraps, nothing to throw away. This is just what we're doing here, right? So I still have my 2 pieces that I want to use for making my bag or bags. I'm not sure which. I've got a couple full pieces for the sides of my bag or bags, again, not sure which. And so I've got those at the ready here, and we will address those later. I have these 3 pieces here, and I was debating, do I want to use them for tags or not? But you guys, they are sized perfectly. They are 8 inches by 6 inches. I have 12 of these cards that are 2.5 inches by 4. And so if I am going to put all of my, you know, little matting pieces or whatever on these little tags, then I'm going to be able to have exactly enough for 12. So that just makes sense. And I'm going to roll with it, right? So we're going to save these for making some tags. And that leaves me with these 2 pieces here that I was thinking I could use for pockets for inside of our little journals. So I'm thinking I'll do a couple strips along here for pockets, and then we'll use the cutoffs down here to do another smaller pocket on the back. I'm not sure. I'm going to see what I can get out of here. I need to be able to get enough for 3 of the notebooks out of each of these pieces, and then I don't have to cut into something else, and that's what I'm going to shoot for. That's what we're going to try to do. So I'm going to put these to the side and get out my trimmer and kind of see how we can make this work, because we know that our pages are like 7 inches, or they're like 7 1/16 tall, right? So first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and cut this to just over 7 inches, which on my trimmer, I don't come out to 7 inches, but if I come to the 5 and I back it off from 5 a little bit, then I should have the right height here. That should be, yep, that's close enough. And then I need to get 3 out of this one. So if I do 1 1/4 inches wide, that should be wide enough for us to create a little tuck spot here, right? So I'm going to cut these into strips that are 1 1/4 inches wide. And this one's like a little bit over 1.5 inches. I'm just going to keep that one wider because it's not going to be a problem if it's wider. And then do the same thing over here. I'm going to back it off of the 5. Now, the only problem with this one is that they're oriented sideways. I think it's fine. It's going to be totally fine. So we're going to do 1 1/4 inches on each of these. I kind of like the way it's laying out there with the bows too. In fact, on this one, I'm going to go ahead and trim it down just so it's laying out the same way with the bows. And then on these pieces here, I need to cut 3 that are going to be for little tuck spots. They are almost 5 inches by 4 inches. Let's trim them down to 3 3/4 wide. And then let's see, let's do 1.5 inches on each of them. I'm going to use the 1/4 inch corner rounder because that's what I did on everything else. And I'm going to round the lower right-hand corner and the upper left-hand corner. And that's going to go on the back page of our our notebooks, of our journals. All right, and then for these, I need to round 2 of the edges that are gonna be on the left-hand side. Well, actually, let's wait until we get those put in place. So it's 7 inches, just a little over 7 inches long. The halfway point on this is gonna be just a hair over 3.5. So I'm gonna make a little tick mark there. And then I wanna make a notch in the middle of our, let me see, do we want it like this or like this? I feel like this. So I wanna make a notch in the middle of our little pocket here, just like that. So I'm gonna make my marks and make my cuts here. To make quick work of it, I'm just gonna line all of these up and then transfer my mark across them all in one fell swoop, just like that, right? And then what we're gonna do is on the inside front covers, we're gonna place this on here and I'm gonna glue it down on 3 sides and I'm gonna let it kind of overhang on one of the ends and we'll trim it down. That way it'll be an exact fit, right? So you're gonna put glue on 3 sides. And the long side is gonna be opposite the one you cut the notch out of. And then you're just gonna line it up on here. I'm gonna line up the bottom and the side here. And I'm just feeling with my fingers to make sure that it's flush all the way around. And anywhere that it's overhanging, I'm just gonna cut it off anyway. And that way I don't have to worry about cutting it perfectly. I'll just, you know, put it in place and then I can trim it to fit just the way I need it to. There we go. That looks great. And so now we've just got like a little tuck spot here, right? So you can, you know, put some papers and stuff in there. I love it. And I usually make these a little wider than that, but I think that this is just fine. Let me kind of clean up this corner here. I didn't trim it as well as I could have. And then for the back, we're gonna take one of the smaller pieces here and it's gonna line up here and we're just gonna put glue on 2 sides. So we're gonna put glue on the right-hand side and the bottom, just like that. I think it looks great. And then that's gonna give us another little tuck spot, right? So we can put some things in there too. And then other than that, our little journals, our little notebooks, they're done. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of these on the other notebooks that I've got and I'll be right back. All right, so now let's move on to these tags and I'm just gonna round all 4 corners. Rather than using a punch or like a tag die or something like that, I'm just gonna go through here and round all of the corners and then we'll cut some pattern paper to put on them. And like I said, our pieces here, they are 6 inches by 8 inches. And so I'm just gonna cut these down. We've got, our tags are 2.5 inches wide. Let me double check. Yep, they're 2.5 inches wide. So I'm gonna cut these into strips that are 2 3/8 inches wide by 3 7/8 of an inch tall. And now that my pattern pieces are cut and my base pieces are cut, I'm just gonna go ahead and glue them down. And then for the backs of the tags, at least on one of them, I think I'm gonna keep, so I've got 12 total. So on 6 of them, I'm gonna make it an actual tag, like a gift tag. So if you were gonna give this to somebody, you'd have a tag for it. On the other 6, I'm gonna make them more like a journaling tag and put them in the notebook and it can be used as a bookmark or, you know, just a journaling tag, right? And I picked up this stamp here from Target, from the dollar spot a couple months back, and I thought it was really cute, but it doesn't really fill up the whole space. And so I was thinking I might just stamp Merry Christmas up here. And then I got these stamps from Michael's months ago. They were on a clearance thing and they're like, you can make your own little word things, right? So, and they're really kind of cool. They just snap together here. So if I'm gonna do a to and a from, so I've got F, R, O, and M, they're all gonna stamp together. And then to, so I've got my T and my O, just like somehow, there we go, like that. So this way I can just stamp, you know, my to and my from down here below that. And I think that's gonna work. I don't know, let's try it. I haven't done this before. Let's see what happens. Let's try this gold. This one might work out better. Oh, I like it. I think that looks really cute. And so now let's do our to. Oh yeah, this is super cute. And then from, I think it looks cute. So I'm gonna take 2 of each of them and set them to the side. And on the other 2, we're gonna go through and do our little stamping. Yep, super cute. And you guys, this was in the dollar spot. How awesome is that? So I'm really excited. I'm trying to finish this up really quickly. I've got a retreat that we're starting for Country Craft Creations. We've got a virtual retreat. It is a cookie swap exchange retreat, I think. I can't even remember what it's called. I don't even care at this point. I love the Country Craft Creations retreat so much that I would sign up no matter what it was called. But yeah, it is just going to be super fun. I can't wait to get to fellowship with and craft with all of my friends and make amazing projects that were designed by all of the other Country Craft Creation designers. I do not have a design in this, and that is perfectly fine. I signed up for this retreat well before I even thought of becoming a Country Craft Creations design team member. So I'm just super excited. You guys, these are turning out so cute, aren't they? So I think we're doing like 12 or 13 or 14 projects. I don't know how many. It's a crazy number. And I just know it's going to be absolutely awesome. I just know it's going to be awesome. All right, there we go. We've got our little two froms. How cute are they? Aren't they just so stinking cute? I love them. So I'm going to go clean off my my stamps and I'll be right back. Oh, and just in case anyone asks, I've cleaned off my stamps and I think they look really great. I use one of these sponges because I don't get lint on them when I clean them. And I just take them to the sink, a little soap and water, rinse them off, dry them really good, and that is it. Let's go ahead and punch some holes in them, and just for some continuity, let's use some of this. We're gonna go like that and get my hole punch, and I'm just gonna kind of eyeball a hole here in the center. And then I'm gonna fold them in half. I'm gonna take the loop and I'm gonna come from the front side to the back with the loop, and then loop that loop end around the two tails and pull it tight, and there we go. All right, there we've got it. We've got a just a blank one, and then one with our little tag stamp on it for each one of them. Maybe the to from one here in the front, and then I'll just slip this one in the back. I just think they're fun, and yeah, that's what I've done. I'm using up the paper, folks. I'm just using up the paper, right? All right, those are all done. We've got our tags inserted in here. I think they look really cute. I've got one in the front pocket, one in the back pocket. And I'm gonna take my whole stack of makes here and sit them to the side, because now we're gonna work on making our gift bag. And I'm thinking instead of making two of them, I just wanna make one. I'm gonna make one big one. I'm gonna have the image on the front and the back, just like that. I could have made two. I would have had to pull out some other paper. And in the spirit of just trying to use what I've got, this is what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna cut my side pieces out of this paper here. And I'm going to cut my bottom piece out of this paper here. And I think I want it to be 4 inches deep. I think that sounds about right. So I need to cut 2 strips here that are 5 inches, because I'm going to score a 1/2 inch score on either side to connect the pieces here. So what I did was I cut 2 5-inch strips from each of these 12 by 12 pieces. And I'm left with a little cutoff piece here that's 2 inches wide by 12 inches long. I think we're going to use that, but I'm not sure yet. I have to see how this is going to come together. I'm making this up as I go along, so thank you for accompanying me on this ride. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I appreciate that you're along for the ride. And so I'm just going to take my piece that I just cut that's 5 inches wide. I'm going to place it in on the 5-inch side, and I'm going to score it at 4.5 and at 1/2. So that's going to give me a 1/2 inch to attach to make my bag, right? So 4.5 and 1/2. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing for these 2 strips here. We're going to end up having to attach them somehow, and I'm not sure yet, but I know that I'm going to need these same score marks on here. So at 1/2 and 4.5 on the 5-inch side. But we're also going to score it at 1 inch on each of them. Okay, let's fold and burnish our score marks. And we need to cut out these little rectangles in the corners on the side that has the 1 inch score mark as well. So go ahead and cut those out. So it's not on not over here, it's just on the side where we've got the intersection between this 1-inch score mark and these 1/2-inch score marks here. I'm just gonna cut these little corners out, these little rectangles. This is 12 inches. My bag, or my page that's gonna be a bag, is also 12 inches wide. But I need a flap here to connect to my side pieces, as well as these flaps that are gonna connect to the front and back. But these aren't long enough. And I also thought if I doubled it up, it gives a little bit of strength to the bottom of the bag too. If I come over here an inch from where I made these score marks are to attach with, right? So if I move it over here an inch, I'm actually gaining my 2 inches back, because I've got an inch here and then an inch over here where it's overhanging as well, because I've scooted it down. And now I have a piece that's 12 inches wide that's gonna fit for our bag. So what I did was, on one of the pieces that has the score mark at an inch here, I made an additional mark 1 inch in from that score mark, so towards the side that doesn't have a score mark. And that's gonna be my mark on where I need to place my glue to stick this down. So I don't wanna put glue on this one because I don't want any extra glue hanging out over the side. I'm just gonna come along here where this, where my pencil line is. I'm going to come up to, but not into, the score mark here on either side, these 1/2-inch score marks that run all the way down. And then I'm just going to fill it all in with some glue. Okay? And then we'll take our piece and just nest it right inside of the one underneath here. I'm trying to line up my folds and my score marks, right? I want it to fit just inside of here. That's gonna work. Go ahead and press that all in. There we go. Now I've got a piece that's long enough, and because of the stripes, you can't even really tell. So that's gonna work out great. That's gonna be the bottom of our bag. Now, let's start attaching it. So I think what I wanna do is I wanna attach this to the bottom of here first. Let's glue these together so that they're not flopping around. 2 pieces thick now, so it did need a little bit of burnishing there. And now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come along here, fold this back. I'm gonna put glue all over one of these sides with the 1/2-inch fold. And I did glue those 2 together that are overlapping like this. See where they're overlapping? So I need to come back through and glue those 2 together as well. Like I said, you guys, I'm making this up as I go along, so if you want to see how my brain works, this is it. It's weird. All right, and then we're just gonna lay it on here and meet those sides together. I'm fitting it in between. I'm centering it in here, making sure that I'm straight. I am. I give it a nice firm burnishing. There we go. That looks great. So we've got one side attached. Now let's do the other side here. Yep, that looks great. So this other side, we're gonna, first of all, I need to kind of attach these 2 pieces. All right, spread that out, bend it over, give it a nice firm crease because we're now 2 layers thick on that. There we go. Perfect. Now I want to put glue all along this folded section again. And once that's all glued up, make sure I've got the top. Yep, just like that. Once that's all glued up, then I want to line this up with the bottom of my page that I want to be for my bag. And this time what I'm doing is I'm also making sure it's lining up with the page that I've already attached. So I want my sides to meet up over here. So if you can see here where this kind of comes back and meets in with this other side here. I'm off a little bit. There we go. That's good. See, you guys, we don't need to go buy gift bags. You've got 12 by 12 paper. At least I think you do. If you're like me, you've got 12 by 12 paper. So I'm going to open it up and give it another burnishing here from the inside before I kind of flatten it out. That's good. Okay, so now we've got those attached like that. Let's take these 2 pieces, our side pieces, and I want to fold and burnish my score marks. And y'all, I know there are ways that we can do some score marks inside of here and make it so that the bag has a nice cute little pleat and stuff like that. I'm not doing that. They're not going to get all extra like that. I am just making a bag. That's it. Just making a bag. So this is going to get attached onto here first, and then our pieces are going to then come up here and attach, right? Just like that. So the first thing we need to do is we need to glue this piece into this piece here. And I know this is getting really big and I'm trying to make sure I stay in frame here. But I think the easiest way to do this is to place glue on this flap of the stripe paper that we've got on the bottom, whatever paper you've got for your bottom piece. And then I'm just going to sort of like butt it right up next to it and lay it down inside between those two score marks, right? That works. And then just to make sure that I'm straight, I'm gonna open it up and make sure I'm not going crooked anywhere. I'm not. Looks good. Okay, so now we've attached this side. I'm gonna end up with like a big odd shaped plus sign, right? And then let's put some glue on this one. This down, double check and make sure I'm straight. I am. That looks good. Okay, just like that. There we go. And now it's just super easy peasy. All we need to do now is take some glue on these 1/2 inch flaps here on our sides, right? Come all along here. And I suppose you could use double-sided tape. I think that I think the glue holds better and it gives me some room to wiggle it into place. So that makes me happy. I'm going to stick it on here. So I'm going to bring this edge, make sure my edge comes right to the edge of the paper. Coming into the edge of the paper all along. Oops, I'm not on the edge of the paper. There we go. That's good. And then just burnish it down really well from the inside. We're gonna do the same thing over here. You guys, my camera situation is not made for such large projects. I apologize. I hope this is being filmed correctly. I don't know. I'll have to check it. And once we've glued up that side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to kind of just bring this around, lay it down on here. And I'm making sure that the folded edge over here is lined up with the edge of the paper. I'm off a little bit there. There we go. And once I get it where I like it, then I'm going to come along here with my bone folder and just press it down. Make sure I got good contact there. So see, this is coming together. It's looking good. I noticed there's a little glue that didn't take hold up here though. So before I do that, I want to make sure I've really pressed this down. It didn't quite catch there. There we go. I'm going to put glue on one of these flaps and then turn it over, and you guys aren't going to be able to see because I got to reach inside of there, but I'm going to reach inside and try to press it into place. And then I'll show you what I did sort of after the fact, because I don't know how I'm going to get this camera angle to work. There we go. There we go. Let's get this all in place. Okay, and then I'm going to reach in and just really burnish it. Oh, I like it. It's coming together so cute. Okay, and then this last one, I'm just gonna slip some glue back in here and put it all over this 1/2 inch piece here. along there. Flip it over. Oops, I wiggled it. It's okay, I'm gonna push it back into place. This is why I like the glue, because I have a, you know, it dries fast, but I have a little bit of wiggle time. You know, it's not so fast that I can't make some minor adjustments there. Go ahead and press this down. Good. All right, and now we have a bag, and I'm just going to, let me see, at the top, I've got a little bit of the white showing here, but that's okay. I think it'll be all right. At the top though, I'm thinking let's use these pieces here to create some reinforcement strips along the top. And then we'll just punch some holes and we'll use some of that twine again. Let me go ahead and cut these in half, and then we'll fold them in half, and we'll just use that to wrap over the edges to reinforce them and give us something with a little bit more structure for when we are making our hole punch to put our twine through. So, you know, this bag is not like fancy and perfect or any of those things, but it's a bag. And I was thinking it would be really cool if, like, let's say you have gifts to bring to work or to church, you know, maybe you've got a Bible study group or whatever it is, right? And you've got some gifts you want to bring to some folks. How cute would it be if you show up in your little bag like this, filled with all your little brag books and stuff that we just made, and you're just playing Santa and handing them out. I think that would be really fun. I didn't need both of these, it looks like. I only needed like a little 4-inch strip here on either side. So let's go ahead and cut these down. I'm gonna go ahead and put glue all over both sides of the fold here. And I'm gonna sort of set one side first and then wrap it around. There we go. There we go. Awesome. Isn't that great? That is a cute little finish. I'm gonna flip it over so I can really burnish it down. Make sure I've got good contact. Cute. Okay, let me do the other side here. Put that into place. Flip it over so I can really press it down. Cute. And then these pieces are just gonna go right over here on these side pieces. Right, I love it. I think it's super cute. One thing I do wanna do is I'm gonna take my fingers, I'm just gonna sort of pinch in these sides. I know I said I wasn't gonna do all of this extra stuff, but I wanna be able to punch my holes at the same time for my handles, right? So I'm gonna get my hole punch, and I'm not even measuring. I'm just coming in here. That looks good. And about there, that looks about right. There we go. Got some holes, grab some twine, and we're gonna make some handles. I wish I had used a red ribbon, but then I just realized that I didn't have any left over anyway, so that's fine. I still think it looks really cute, and like I said, how great is this? Now I have a bag to put all of my makes in. Yep, this is super cute, you guys. I don't know if I can even get it all in frame. So this is what we've made. We made the bag. We made 6 of these little brag books, 6 of these little junk journals or notebooks, whatever you want to call them. And then we went ahead and made a couple tags then to put on the insides as well. That's it, you guys. I'm so excited because I used the whole thing. This is the scraps I have. This is it right here. These are the scraps. Yay! I think they turned out really great. Let me go ahead and kind of lay them out here again. I just think they all turned out really awesome, and I appreciate that you guys went along on this little smashing of my paper pad with me. I'd like to say it was a smashing my stash, but the reality is that I bought this new. I didn't need to buy it new, but I feel really empowered because I have so many of these types of paper pads still in my stash. And this is a great way to do this, you guys. I love how these little brag books turned out. They feel so much like, you know, the board books for toddlers, for kids, the thick board books and how they open. That's how these are. And they're just, they're just fun. I like them a lot. I think they turned out awesome. I think our little junk journals turned out beautifully. I love the surprise of this sort of handmade paper in there. And you guys use whatever you've got. You know, you may not have this particular handmade paper. You might have some tea-dyed paper. You might have some other little scraps of things that you like, maybe some tissue paper you like. Put that in there. I think they turned out great. I love the beads on the ends. I just think it's a little added touch. Yeah, I like it. All right, that's what I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for just for subscribing and liking and commenting. Y'all have no idea what this means to me. I am genuinely, deeply, truly grateful for each and every one of you. Let me know in the comments below which one of these is your favorite or what you're going to smash. Do you have some paper pads in your stash that you've been wanting to do something with that this might work for? Let me know, because I might have them in mind too, and it would give me an idea to go grab that one as well. All right, that's what I've got for you today. I hope you are having a wonderful day. I hope you're being kind to yourselves, and I hope you're finding joy in your journey. Thanks so much, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.